Lila Hart, stand-up comedian. And I had the best time with Harry and Kelly on their show. Be sure to check out Small Talk on Channel 310 on YouTube. That's the name of my show. Thank you guys so much for having me. We talked about my stand-up comedy career, talked about going to open mics, and a bunch of good stuff.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Harry and Kelly on Focus TV Network.
Welcome back. We have Lila Hart, the awesome stand-up comedian, and she just started her own talk show called Small Talks.
Yes. Thank you guys so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. Harry and Kelly.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
What a cute name. Yeah. How beautiful. That's like your God-given name. That's not your...
Yes.
That is not
Lila
your station.
Hart.
I love it.
It's meant to be in lights
You're a
someday.
heart.
It is. It is meant to be in
so.
lights. Aw. We were stalking you, of course, before you come on.
Great. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
I mean, yeah. And I love... Your slogan is... I'm as tall as a parking meter.
Yeah, an LA parking meter. I mean, it's just
that.
a great reference. It's an easy way to be like, I'm short, but as like a LA parking meter. It's a visual. You know what I mean? Everybody's seen an LA parking meter. And I'm exactly the same height as an LA parking meter, which is 4'6".
Wow.
Yeah,
So you're measured up against a parking meter?
Yeah, if I just noticed one day, I was like, every time I walked around the city, I'm like, I am the same size as this thing. So
You make a lot of jokes like that, I've noticed.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. And I've been doing
self-deprecating humor, right? That's what's funny. Dude, people laugh at when people make fun of themselves. I guess that's where humor comes from, right?
Yeah. Right. I've been
yeah.
I just think that people, appreciate when you're being authentic, and I think the most authentic kind of humor is when you talk about yourself. And I do a lot of short jokes, but it's just because I have to establish, and I just have to state the obvious. And then once I do that, I can get into other things that I like to talk about.
I love that. You kind of, you beat them to it. Like, okay, we accept this. I'm short and a woman. Like, let's move on. Because I feel like female comedians have to do that immediately anyways and be like, I know I'm a chick.
Right,
so, yeah. But that's changing. That's changing, isn't it?
Well, I would say it's like, it's different for female comics in the industry, but there's a lot of different things that are happening. So, there's more opportunities to be given out now.
Good. It's changing. Things are
changing. Things are changing. And then you also did that one web series about, it's like Sex in the City, but the girls are...
Oh, I was on an episode of Little Women LA?
Yes.
Yes, I was on an episode of Little Women LA about a year and a half ago. I did stand-up comedy for the girls. The episode is a little bit controversial because the women didn't agree with me for my use of the
N-word. I was wondering if they were joking around or if they were serious. They were serious about that?
Well, I think that, for the show purpose, I think the producers of the show wanted them to challenge me. So basically what happened, they got upset that I used the M-word midget in my stand-up comedy.
The M-word?
Yeah, that's what called the M-word. But I'm so grateful for the fact that we were able to have that discussion on television. And, it just brought up a lot of great points. And the thing is, it's stand-up comedy, and I'm never going to be politically correct in my stand-up comedy. I'm going to be real, and I'm going to keep it real all the time, and it's like, if you have a problem with that, don't come to a comedy show, and I don't tell jokes to hurt
why would they get offended
feelings.
by that?
Right, I don't tell jokes to hurt people's feelings. I'm telling jokes because it's healing for myself, right?
It's healing for you because it's bothering you, so you want to make a joke out of it.
Right, and the reason that I even started stand-up comedy, because a lot of the things that used to hurt my feelings, I now talk about on stage. And it's like, it removes power away from that word. Like, the word midget used to make me feel really bad. And now, it's nothing.
You took the power away from it.
Exactly.
By you having your own. That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's important, too. We need comedians. We need humorous people that are speaking the truth, Not everyone can dance around and be politically correct all the time. We need our pressure gauges in this world.
Yeah, at least you're brave enough to say stuff like that. Like, I don't know why they're hating. It's like, what would you rather me do? Like, make generic jokes? Like,
right. I mean,
this is fun.
I just think that, at the end of the day, a lot of that comes from people's own like insecurities. You know, I mean, I have spina bifida as well. So like, I guess technically I'm not like a little person.
How does spina bifida work?
So most people with spina bifida, it's a congenital birth defect. So it affects your spine. I've had over 7 major back operations and foot operations. So it's a miracle that I can even walk. Yeah. So doing stand up and being able to talk about that, you know, there's not a lot of people who have spina bifida that are doing stand-up, so, you know, it opens doors for people.
I love that. I love that. You're so brave. And
she is brave.
Yeah, and like you said, you're opening up doors. And I've never met someone who has spina bifida, so it's like very, very interesting and cool to meet you and just hear about your story. Do you have any pain from any of those surgeries? Or
No, I don't have any pain at all, and it's really a miracle. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't take pain pills, I don't do anything. You know, I really put my health first. Like this last year, I just decided to just go cold turkey on everything because I just, you know, it's a miracle that I can even walk, and I don't take my health for granted.
Oh, I love that. I love that. That's cool.
Yeah, you're so confident too. I noticed that when I first met you.
Well, thank you.
You are. You're really confident. You're like willing to like joke around, and it's awesome. Yeah, don't listen to the haters. Don't listen to the haters.
You got talent.
Well, you know, it's so funny because when I was a kid, and the thing is, I'm little. I'm as tall as an online parking meter. When I walk into a store or walk into a club or walk in anywhere, people are going to stare at me because it's intriguing. It's something different, right? You're going to look at something. If you see somebody who doesn't have an arm, you're going to look at them, right?
Yeah.
And I've accepted that. And when I would be with my friends, I would be upset, like, oh, I hate when people stare and blah, blah. I would think people are looking because I'm different, but they keep staring because I'm so beautiful. So how could you not? Like, you'd stare at a beautiful
That's why I was looking at you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that's why I was staring.
No, that's so cool. It's so true, too. You know, like humans were curious. Little kids always stare and stuff, but they're not meaning to be mean. They're just different.
You should just walk into and be like, look at me, like that.
Hey, that's kind of what I do.
There you go.
Star of the show.
Here she is.
I have an issue. I have an 8-pack. So everyone's looking. They're like, whoa, he's got more than a 6-pack. He's got 8 packs. And it's like, why are you so awkward? People are always looking at me, you know? So I try to...
Yeah.
I'm like, what? All right? I can't help it.
I keep playing like rocks, like Miss Hart in my mind from Chicago. Growing up, did you ever study the arts? Like, were you ever in musical theater or took comedy classes or acted or anything like that?
No, I mean, I did broadcast. My degree is from Washington State University, so I have a degree in broadcast productions with minor in political science.
Oh, nice.
So my dream was always to be a news anchor, newscaster, because behind the desk, you would know that I was this little, and that's what I wanted to do. But then a couple years ago, I just had this epiphany that stand-up was the way to get in, because like I would be going to auditions and people wouldn't hire me. I would, even for like jobs and stuff, it was really hard to get a job because people would just see my height. And I realized like if I became a stand-up comedian, they'd have to listen to me. They'd have to write parts in for me. And like that's how everything has changed, and it's opened so many more doors.
And you have to be funny too. That's the key. That's the key.
It's stand-up comedy is totally different than any form of public speaking, because it's not just talking in front of a crowd. You have to be funny every 30 seconds. Every 30 seconds,
you have to be constantly funny at all times.
At all times, and it doesn't matter if you're funny in the beginning of your set. It has to go the whole way through. You know, and so it's a special skill. Like a lot of comedians can transition into becoming actors, but actors can't really transition into becoming a stand-up.
Totally.
And a great example of that is Robin Williams. You know what I mean? Amazing comedian, amazing actor.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I could never do what you do. I think it is so cool, so hard.
Thank you.
No way.
It's really
you have
hard.
to have guts. You have to have.
And you have to be willing to like say not bad. I don't want to say bad things about yourself, but you have to be willing to say things that
you have to face your
demons, right?
It takes a certain level of confidence to be able to talk about yourself.
Yes, it does.
And not be afraid. You know, I was at the Hollywood Improv probably a year into comedy, and I was standing there and I was thinking to myself, oh my God, like I'm grateful that I have spina bifida, because if I didn't, I wouldn't be doing stand-up. Like I just wouldn't be. If I didn't have this disability, if I wasn't this small, if I hadn't gone through all the challenges that I went through as a kid, I would not be doing stand-up. And stand-up is the biggest gift that has been given into my life. It's just my comedian friends that I have met in comedy, just the whole comedy community is unlike any other community.
You're well known in the community now too.
Well, I think that
Do the Comedy Store a lot, right?
I go to the Comedy Store a lot. With the thing I love about stand up so much more than like any art form is stand up is still so old school. Like you can't just you still have to like do the networking. Like you still have to do the face-to-face stuff. It's not like, YouTube where you can make like dope videos all the time or like just be like post pictures on Instagram. Like you still have to be in person with people. And there's like a level of respect. You got to respect the game, the hustle. Like some of the best comedians have been doing this for 20 years. It takes a lot of time and commitment.
Oh, so cool. So cool.
Thank you.
I couldn't even imagine.
So tough.
What's your favorite venue you've ever played? So you've done Comedy Store, like I'm sure Laugh Factory.
Well, okay, so but people don't even people always ask me how do you become a comedian?
Yeah.
What do you do to become a comedian? How does this happen?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
There are hundreds of different mics throughout the week that we go to. Okay, so it's like these are open mics. You drive to an open mic, you put your name in this bucket, you sit there for 2 to 3 hours
I've done
just
that.
to get on stage for 3 minutes. Okay, and you perform in front of other comedians who are not laughing at you, who are only focused on themselves, right?
Yes.
So my schedule will be like on a Monday. I'll start at 4. I'll go to a mic that's at a coffee shop. Then
And you're
I'll
not
go to
even
the
guaranteed to go
You're
up.
not even guaranteed to go up. You go to the Hollywood Hotel. Then you could go to a mic that's at the Comedy Store, right? And then you have to get the respect of the other comedians for them to think you're funny. And then you're going to go to a comedy club, and then the booker has to like you, and that's how you get on a show. So you don't just you don't just say, oh, I'm a comedian, get on a show.
No.
It's all this back effort that
And
is
it's years of open mics for some people.
For some
Years.
people,
And you'll wait online for 3 hours, and then you'll wait inside and not go up. I've done that.
Insane.
I've done that. I've done open mics. It's tough as hell. I stopped doing it.
crowd.
I couldn't take it.
Crowd,
It's just
I think would be the hardest.
it's just too much. It's just too much waiting and then rejection.
Well,
Not because of you, but because of numbers, because of the lottery rejection. And
yeah,
it's just,
but
yeah.
I think that doing all these mics that I've done, it's very humbling.
It
And
is.
it's very humbling, and you earn your spot in the community.
You don't do open mics anymore, though.
I'm never going to stop doing open
But
mics.
but you get shows now.
But I get shows, but I'll never stop.
You'll never stop doing
The
mics,
best
but-
comedians don't stop perfecting on their craft. I'll never stop going to a mic. If anything, I've hosted mics, but it's great because that's where I practice different bits. I have bits that I'll do on stage. I have a perfected
Do you want to
set.
do any of your bits?
No, I can't do it. Here, you guys will just come to a show or check out my
All right.
Instagram. But I have bits that, that I know are going to kill on stage. But then when I go to an open mic, that's where I can think of a joke. On my way here, I thought of something. And I'll go do that at a mic, and I'll do that in front of my friends, and I'll work things out. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's the point of going to an open mic is to perfect your set, to test out new things that you wouldn't necessarily want to test out on a large audience and bomb in front of them. I can bomb in front of my comic friends, whatever. They can give me feedback, and I can make the bit an even better joke.
Love it. Love it. Progress, hard work, dedication.
And the name of your show is representative of your jokes because it's called Small Talks. Yeah.
Small Talk. It's on Channel 310 on YouTube. That's our network that we're doing. It's Channel 310. There's also a show called Blunts and Brunch on there with Arthur Hamilton. And then we have Secret Black People Meeting with Niles Abston.
And you edit your thing on Final Cut Pro.
Yep, I do. We do all the editing ourselves. So
I recognize this.
I recognize. Nice studio.
I recognize the sound effects because I use those too when I'm editing.
This is
They're
great.
awesome
I like
sound
this.
effects.
TV is so pretty.
Yeah,
It's really nice.
It is.
Beautiful.
It
We
is
have a- we
beautiful.
just
I feel
have,
like I'm at the
a
Getty
green
right
sheet.
now.
It's lovely. I know. We're having tea.
We're having tea at the Getty.
Tea at the Getty.
great.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you
Yeah.
so much for coming on our show. We can't wait to see you live. I would love to come
Yeah,
see you,
absolutely.
see
I'd
a
love for
set.
you guys to come.
I would love that. That'd be really fun.
Yeah.
Come support. Maybe Harry will do an open mic soon. You've inspired him.
Yes,
You
you
have.
should.
I
Yeah.
know.
Thank
Yeah,
you
fun.
so much.
Thank
you,
you
guys.
for coming
Miss Hart.
on.
Thank
Love
you guys
it.
so much.
Yay,
Thanks, guys, for
thanks
watching
coming
this
on.
episode of #Harry and Kelly.
That's it.